Hey, this is JC and welcome to Small Brick City. This is a fun video as we get to open up some subscriber mail. I've actually opened it up already and looked inside because I didn't know what it was at the time. And this was sent by Joe McLeod Iredale out of the UK. Thanks Joe for sending this to me. I'm really fortunate to get subscriber mail from all over the world. So if you are thinking of sending me something, I do like cash. Now, of all the items that have been sent over the past 2 years, I must say this by far is the most terrifying. It's a bunch of vintage Lego. Have a look at that. That is truly terrifying, and now I can't sleep at night. Thanks, Joe. So let's take this out, I'll lay them out and we'll have a closer look at them. So here we have all the vintage pieces all laid out. And Joe was really nice to send me a letter with all kinds of instructions such as don't get them wet, don't feed them after midnight, basic stuff so that they don't turn into your worst nightmare. But he also gave a bit of an explanation of each of these pieces, and I really find this really interesting, and thanks Joe for sending this. And I'm actually glad I never saw these as a kid because I'll probably never ever get into Lego. Now let's have a look at them one at a time. The top row over here is the Lego Homemaker series introduced in 1974. Now these are system pieces and he's actually put together the parts from various pieces, so not all maybe from the original parts, but he basically recreated them from what I understand. And we've got different figures here, and I believe this is a family, so there's a mother, a daughter, a grandmother, probably two sons, or maybe that's the husband over there. And we've got this guy over here. For some reason his face is red. Maybe he's an alien, maybe he's angry, or maybe he just looked in the mirror. But these are basically one happy family. And Joe's daughter Matilda wanted to mention that you can actually change and interchange all their hair pieces, and I guess you could do that just like a Lego minifigs. I have seen such figures, I believe, in some of the photos for the old Lego system sets, and they're definitely not the new minifig scale. They're really large, and I think it was a good move for Lego to actually move to the minifigs, because I do find these a bit creepy, I think. What do you think? Now, when you look at this, does it bring up nostalgia? Or if you're seeing this for the first time, do you think it's creepy? Let me know in the comments. But I think these are really nice vintage pieces to have. So once again, Joe, really appreciate it. Now at the bottom over here, this is a classic Lego Spaceman, and this is from the early 80s. And I'm sure we're all familiar with this minifig. And it's really cool because I do have the new Lego Movie 2 2019 release, which does have a yellow spaceman as well. So one from the 80s and one from 2019. So really cool stuff. This is the Lego Technic figure from the late 80s. I did not know that they had Lego Technic figures, but I think Lego La Maniac, in a recent comment in one of the videos, he did mention that there were old Technic figures. I guess he was referring to this, and that was built for the Technic sets. And again, the scale is again a bit different. Maybe it's similar to this, but the head is smaller, the height is about the same, and it's definitely more articulated. But then again, this would have been much later, so this would be from the late 80s according to Joe. So I can see the articulation, a bit of a G.I. Joe feel over here in terms of the articulation. Even the height feels like a G.I. Joe figure. And here we have a bad robot from Exo Force, and I guess it's a robot. Have you guys seen one of these before? And here we have Jack Stone character, and this is from the early 2000s. Okay, I personally do not know who is Jack Stone. Let me know who he is in the comments. And this again is completely different from the minifigure scale, different from the Technic scale. So I'm not exactly what theme this comes from, so do let me know. And here we have two Lego basic finger puppets that ran through the 1980s. So I guess you do that and you do that. That is pretty weird. Now Annie, when she first saw this, the first question she asked me was, did I clean them with holy water? And the answer is no, I didn't. Well, thanks Joe, this has really been interesting, and folks, I hope you enjoyed this look at these vintage Lego minifigs or figures. Let me know what you think in the comments, and how do you think these can be incorporated into a Lego city? Personally, for me, I can see some of these going into a museum setting where you have vintage Lego, a bit meta because they are seeing large Lego sculptures, or I guess their predecessors. It's like when we go to a museum and we basically see what they considered ancient Homo sapiens to be. You could also, I guess, put them in some kind of a fair or theme park or carnival as set pieces. And you could also, I guess, put them even in a modern Lego store with a vintage corner. Let me know your thoughts and tell me how you think vintage Lego pieces can fit into a modern Lego city. And to end off, here are the sig figs of the MacLeod Iredale family. From left to right, we have Verity over here, 6 years old, and she wants to be a Prime Minister when she grows up. Her elder sister, Matilda, who is 9, wants to be a lawyer as she enjoys being right. Next up is Miriam, and she just wants to go to bed. And I think she finally can get a good night's sleep because all that scary vintage Lego is out of her house. And finally, we have Joe, who wants to finish converting the coach house to accommodate his growing Lego collection. I'm going to place the MacLeod Iredale family into my Lego city, and I think I'll put them into the Metro City section as they're going to be on holiday, and you will see them in the next Metro City update. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you haven't, please subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching. Talk to you soon.